Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim Ruchakadash. I'd give double honors to my apostles and elders, a great millstone, who well taught us this truth. Also, I'd to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect, and the 1/3, and to you Akim out there pushing this word out there, this truth, in all truth and sincerity. Alright, there's your brother Salah. And first I'd say I I'd apologize. I haven't been posting in the past few days, the past 3 days, or what have you. I'm actually here in the Philippines right now. Taking some time off. From Babylon. Visiting some family for a little bit, and and vacation, but that's not an excuse, to not do this word. We gotta keep pushing this truth out, blanket the whole world, but with that out of the way. So but today's video lesson is about the toes of the 10 horns. The beast hating the whore, man. And which basically, Donald Trump, he's basically out, with his unfair relationships with Zelensky. They're being outed right now, and basically, the skinny of it, right, is because the NATO or the European countries, because they see what America, especially what Trump's, how they're dealing with the Ukraine. They're like, you know what, since you're being shitty dealing with the Ukraine, we're not going to provide aid to you anymore. You know what, they're giving them the middle, the NATO, Europe, right, starting with Norway. They're giving America the middle finger, saying, fuck you, we're not going to provide you that oil anymore, or because we see the unfair treatment that they're doing, and that plays into the beast hating the whore, and so without any further ado, I'm gonna read this article from the Washington Post. It says here, European leaders doubling down on backing Zelensky after Trump blow up. Administration office officials and some congressional Republicans accused Zelensky of sabotaging peace talks. But we're going to continue reading down. It says here, London rattled European leaders said Sunday they were doubling down on supporting Ukraine and boosting military aid following the televised Oval Office blow between President Donald Trump and Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky. All right. The embattlement Zelensky was greeted with the cheers outside 10 Downing Street, and warm hug from British Prime Minister Keir Starmer when he arrived late Saturday for an emergency summit of the European leaders. The pair embraced, and at the start of the session Sunday, which Starmer described as once in a generation moment for European security, and they sat side by side during the talks. The display of support stood in stark contrast with comments Sunday from Trump administration officials who heaped blame on Zelensky for the White House uproar. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz described Zelensky's behavior as incredibly disrespectful, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio accused him of disrespecting U.S. efforts to get Russian President Vladimir Putin to negotiate an end of the war. So basically, the U.S., man, Donald Trump, they pointing the fingers, and NATO, man, the European Union, and they not liking that. They're like, well, hold on, no, wait just a moment here. We done everything we can to help you, and now you're pointing the fucking fingers at us. No, fuck you guys. They're not gonna help anymore, and that's starting with and as you're gonna see here, that's gonna start with Norway, with companies in Norway not providing them them oil for their for them tanker ships, their cargo ships, And what that's gonna do, as you're gonna see in this video, people are gonna talk about driving up the prices, and what's that's gonna start increasing food prices, man. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai, he's gonna cause a famine in the land. He's gonna break the staff of bread in Babylon the Great. So continue on reading with the article. The London gathering, which included the leaders of France, Germany, Canada, and other nations, did not produce a formal statement, but participants agreed to sustain or boost military aid following to Ukraine. Starmer told reports afterwards to insist that Kyiv be directly involved in any negotiations with Moscow to end the war. Europe's aim now, Starmer said, was to arm Ukraine sufficiently so that it could begin any peace talks from a position of strength. Countries have expressed interest in joining a coalition of willing that would help guarantee the peace a future deal, he said. Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron, both whom also met with Trump last week, were seeking to shape a diplomatic cleanup of U.S.-Ukrainian relations. Starmer said the two, possibly one or two others, would act as mediators between Washington and Kyiv, working on a ceasefire plan acceptable to the Ukraine and Europe that they would present to Trump. Alright, and this picture you see here, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer greets Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky outside 10 Downing Street in London. Macron comments to France in Le Figaro on Sunday. They suggest a potential 1 month truce in the air at sea on energy infrastructure, which could be paired with negotiations if it holds, and followed by a potential European troop deployment of a settlement. British Armed Forces Minister Luke Pollard said early Monday that there was no agreement yet, though options were on the table, as talks led by Britain and France continue. Starmer, who was talked to Trump at least twice since Zelensky's meeting, said the gathering solidified Britain's own commitment to Ukraine. We are doubling down, he said. He announced a new $2.7 billion loan for Ukraine, backed by frozen Russian assets, and $2 billion in export financing to help Kyiv purchase air defense missiles manufactured in Belfast. Immediately after the summit, Zelensky flew a helicopter to an audience with King Charles III at Sandringham, the monarch's country retreat. Zelensky, who on Friday left the White House early after the fractious exchange with Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, said the King's invitation made him very happy. Starmer also extended a royal invitation to Trump and a full-blown state visit at their Thursday meeting at the White House as a part of his own attempt to show up American support for Ukraine. The Prime Minister asked Sunday whether he trusted Trump, answered yes, saying he believed Trump was sincere in his desire for a lasting peace in Ukraine, but he acknowledged that the Oval Office verbal brawl made him squirm. So European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Sunday's summit, which was planned before Zelensky's meeting with Trump, was meant to make clear that Europe remained committed to the embattlement country. Alright, you see here world leaders react to contentious Trump-Zelensky meeting. Alright, and we're gonna play the video, fair use, 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 fair use.
I thought it was quite an extraordinary. ordinary press conference. And I think that it is inappropriate to conduct that kind of disagreement in front of cameras. The only person who benefits from that is President Putin. Let's do concrete things right now that are going to help Ukraine, rather than criticizing them for whether or not they said thank you or not.
Der gestrige Abend hat unterstrichen, eine neue Zeit der Ruchlosigkeit hat begonnen. Eine ruchlose Zeit, in der wir die regelbasierte internationale Ordnung und die Stärke des Rechts mehr denn je gegen die Macht der Stärkeren verteidigen müssen. Denn sonst kann kein freies Land mehr ruhig schlafen, das einen stärkeren Nachbarn hat.
We will continue to stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes, because this is the struggle of a democratic nation versus an authoritarian regime led by Vladimir Putin, who clearly has imperialistic designs not just on Ukraine, but throughout that region.
From water treatment in Uganda to textbooks in Ukraine.
All right. Following the meeting, she told reporters that Europe needed a surge in military spending to rearm itself. Starmer and Macron made clear that they would continue their campaign to rescue at least some American backing for Ukraine, even as they confronted growing evidence that Trump's pivot towards Putin could be genuine and lasting, and that Europe would be forced to take on more. That Europe would be forced to take on more of Ukraine's and possibly its own defense. Beyond the frayed nerves, everybody should return to calm, respect, and recognition, so we can move forward concretely, because what's at stake is too important, Macron told French media late Saturday. Macron said Zelensky had told him that he was willing to restore dialogue with the United States, including on a negotiated U.S.-Ukrainian minerals agreement that went unsigned during his abortive Washington visit. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has established warmer relations with Trump than most leaders in Western Europe, meeting with him 3 times since Trump's re-election. The right-wing leader suggested Sunday that Italy could play a key role in bridge building, but the White House's meltdown puts her in a squeeze between Trump, other European leaders, and her rivals at home. Meloni has staunchly backed Ukraine and opposed Russia, even against pushback from her ruling coalition. Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini, a political rival, lashed out repeatedly at Ukraine over the weekend, called on Italy to side with Trump on ending the war. The Italian press has featured interviews with Paolo Zampoli, an Italian-born New York real estate investor known as a close Trump ally. During a tour through Italy, Zampoli made clear Trump's antipathy for Zelensky made the anger Meloni could face from the right for backing him. Meloni's position on the Ukraine must change, Zampoli told Italian outlet Il Fogo. Trump doesn't like it. Trump officials... I'm going to read that again. Meloni's position on the Ukraine must change, Zampoli told the Italian outlet Il Fogo. Trump doesn't like it. Trump officials lined up on Sunday to pin the White House blow-up on Zelensky. Rubio accused the Ukrainian president of foiling Trump's plans to strike a ceasefire with Russia, claiming Zelensky disrupted American efforts to get Putin to the negotiating table. That's our goal, Rubio said in an interview with ABC News this week. Do not do anything to disrupt that. And that's what Zelensky did. Unfortunately, he found every opportunity to try to Ukraine-splain on every issue. Tullis Gabbard, Trump's national intelligence director, said Zelensky directly challenged Trump in the Oval Office and showed his lack of interest in any good faith negotiations. There is going to have to be a rebuilding of any kind of interest in good failed negotiations before President Trump's is going to be willing to re-engage on this. Gabbard told Fox News Sunday. House Speaker Mike Johnson, our Louisiana, said Lewinsky berated and interrupted his host. Instead of expressing gratitude for the extraordinary help that the U.S. has provided in this country that effectively help them stay alive and empower. But you know, Europe's starting to see the bullshit that America's doing. You basically using Ukraine as a proxy war to get to Russia. That was the main goal. But you know. Yeah, you know that all plays into what the beast hating the whore, man. You know the NATO, the EU, man. They've had it with Babylon. They had it with this fucking whore, man. And so I'm continue to read on the article. Trump Johnson said is the only figure on the entire globe who is powerful enough to bring both of these parties to the table, and he was in the process of doing that, and he was very, I think, excited about the deal with what's going to be consummated but President Zelensky went in and blew it up. At least one Republican lawmaker disagreed with the characterization, said James Langford, our Oklahoma, who has supported U.S. aid to Ukraine in its battle against Russia, told Meet the Press that Zelensky was rightfully seeking assurance that Washington would provide security if Putin were to violate peace agreement, and as he has done in the past. Senator Bernie Sanders, Vermont, calls by some Republicans for Zelensky to resign, and were horrific. Zelensky is leading a country trying to defend democracy against an authoritarian dictator, Putin, who invaded his country. He told NBC, and that's the thing, though. Ukraine was originally part a part of Russia. You know, and Russia's just basically taking back what's theirs, man. And Stammer called the London summit before the White House meeting as a follow-up to two gatherings of the European heads of state, and sought to respond to Trump's upending of long entrant security and trade norms. The British leader continued to place London at the forefront of Europe's response to the Trump upheavals. Starmer fast-tracked in a surge in British defense spending Saturday and pledged troops as a main part of a potential future in European security force in Ukraine. On Sunday, he called on other European governments to grow their militaries to join a coalition of the willing, taking up slack in Ukraine. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte expressed optimism in Europe's breach with Trump could be healed. Ellen Francis, Brussels and authority followed in Rome. Andrew Child contributed to this report, and basically that's how it went down. You know, with the relations between the Ukraine, Europe, and Babylon. You know, with Trump as a puppet leader. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna get me a few precepts. All right. Alright, so this is the book of Daniel, chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 40. And it's speaking of Rome, because America, NATO, and the EU are as a revival of the Roman Empire. So Daniel chapter 2, verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh into pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron breaketh, all these shall break in pieces and bruises. Whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part iron. The kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay. And that's talking about these strong and these weak nations, coming together. NATO, the EU, and Babylon the Great, aka America. As the toes of the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken, and that's what we're seeing right now. Now, whereas thou sawest iron mixed with the mire clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Yeah, that's what you see right now, man. You know, the 10 toes breaking apart. You know, NATO, the EU. You know they're breaking apart. First it was Brexit now, and now is this whole issue with the Ukraine. You know, America. And Russia, you know, not that Russia was part of the 10 toes, because Russia, how we're gonna read later, is Gog and Magog. So we're gonna jump to the next precept. All right, so this is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16, and it reads, and the 10 horns which sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And yeah, that's what these other nations are about to do, man. You know, Babylon the Great, like they see the bullshit that Babylon the Great's doing, man. Like and that's what he does to make these third world countries. What is Esau? Well, chiefly Amalek. What does he do? Like, he tries to negotiate with the country, you know, and try to take their resources, and if they refuse to negotiate, then that's when they send their strong arm, which in this case is America, to fuck up that nation. That's what you had happen in during these wars. All these wars that are banker wars. That's and that includes all the wars: World War I, World War II. The war in Vietnam, the Korean War. All these battles that you have even in the country I'm in right now, the Philippines, man. Man, that's how these third world countries are made, because what do they do? Esau, Amalek, right? Right, these JOO's-ish people, and who do they call themselves? Ashkenaz, which is just a code word for for German, and because they like to try to hide their identities, right? Yeah, but these small hats, right? These damn devils, these fucking Edomites, right? What they do is they set up that national bank, so they become debt slaves. So it's not that the country doesn't have resources. Again, is because all that resources is being sent to where is being sold off to what Esau's power structure, NATO, the EU, and Babylon, man. And that's why you have poor countries today. These so-called third world countries is because all their resources are being sent to these other nations, and the other people are left fend for themselves, struggling, man. So there's gonna be recompense, for Esau, and that makes you want to bring out another scripture. This is Micah chapter 2 verses 2, and it says here, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And that's what the fuck you're seeing today. That's why the world's in the state it is. All fucked up, and it's gonna get worse though. Because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he's bringing down Esau's power structure, man. He's setting these Edomites against each other, with Trump, Zelensky, and with NATO and the EU, man. As I just read there, and that brings me to another precept. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verses 2, starting at verse 2, and it says here, "And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." Yeah, that's what you see right now. These Edomites, man, they're a house divided, man. Man, and that takes me to another precept. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verses 26, and Yahushua was prophesying this when he told these unto the Pharisees, and this is in the red letter. "And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. Of how shall then his kingdom stand? And that's right, we seeing an end to Esau's kingdom, man. And the return to and the return of Yahweh Shai, man. The fuck up Esau and the fuck up these other nations, man. Man. So and that's why Esau right now he's starting to move rash. He's starting to move boldly because he knows he has but a short time. I believe pertaining to Revelations chapter. Let's bring that out. Oh yes, all right, Slocky. It was Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them." Woe, meaning destruction, in World War III, unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he has but a short time. Man, we see the end of Esau's kingdom, man, and for Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning of it. That followeth, man. Man, yes sir, we come into the time, man, and all this is gonna come into the hour of temptation, the mark of the beast, the charagma, that micro seed been playing, with the price, which is gonna drive with the prices of goods, man. And so I'm gonna go to another video. Alright, bear with me one moment, brothers. Yeah, it was this video. Alright, so we're gonna play this video again. Fair use. Alright, I'm gonna turn it this way so y'all can see.
March 1st, 2025. It's the first day being officially the villains of the world. A petrol giant in Norway has announced a ban on fuel sales to all U.S. forces following Donald Trump's treatment of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Norwegian firm Hotback Bunkers announced it will stop providing fuel to all American forces in Norway as it declared no fuel to Americans. The firm posted on social media to declare their support for Zelensky. It said, "We have today been witnesses to the biggest S show ever presented live on TV by the current American president and his vice president. Huge credit to the president of Ukraine restraining himself and for keeping calm even though USA put on backstabbing TV show. It made us sick, short and sweet. As a result, we have decided to immediately stop as fuel provider to American forces in Norway and their ships calling Norwegian ports. No fuel to Americans. We encourage all Norwegians and Europeans to follow our example. Slava Ukrainia." So, this is the new reality. And this is what America voted for. And this is what the American church voted for. I mean, this is, fuel embargoes. You expect that when it comes to Russia, China, North Korea. Now, we are one of them. Good job, America. Good job. Tried to tell you that the blowback from this whole debacle yesterday on that stage was going to hit us, and it was going to hit us quickly. Norwegian oil and fuel tankers supply America with their gas for their ships. U.S. Navy ships, military logistics ships, and commercial vessels, and they made an announcement that they will no longer fuel American ships. Any of the Navy ships that support American naval vessels operating in the North Atlantic have to get fuel from the Norwegians. This is not a little thing. Like, this is a really big deal. And the fact that they are no longer going to fuel American ships is a sign of where Europe is headed with America. Just the operational disruption that this is going to cause is insane. Any mission planning that's happening will all have to be adjusted. American naval vessels are gonna lose range because they're not gonna have anywhere to fuel up at. Supply chain is about to be impacted greatly. The cost of our goods is about to go up dramatically. And that's not even getting on the geopolitical side of issues that we're gonna see from this.
We have some big news right now. Following the Oval Office meeting between Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and President Zelensky, a top Norwegian shipping company is no longer going to be refueling American ships. In a new statement released by the company Haltback Bunkers, they said, quote, "We have today been witness to the biggest shit show ever presented live on TV by the current American president and his vice president. Huge credit to the president of Ukraine restraining himself and for keeping calm even though United States put on a backstabbing TV show. It made us sick, short and sweet. As a result, we have decided to immediate stop as fuel provider to American forces in Norway and their ships calling Norwegian ports. No fuel to Americans. We encourage all Norwegians and Europeans to follow our example, Slava Ukraini." So essentially, this shipping giant is saying we're not going to refuel American submarines, American ships, military forces that are in Norway. If more companies start doing that, it would be very bad for American forces. Comment below your thoughts, spread the word, follow along for all the news you need to know about, and I'll do a full breakdown on what this all means on my Substack. Link to my bio, so subscribe for free.
All right, and that was from the beloved brother from the Arrows of Indignation. 144. Shout out to that brother. Hey man, a Babylon the Great, man. All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. Well, we verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven, and is lifted up even unto the skies. For the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai have brought forth our righteousness. Come, and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord, or Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, our God, our power, man. And yes, sir, and that's what we're seeing right now, man. And Babylon being destroyed, so Lord's willing, this video was edifying and quick to the point. I have to say, call Elohim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash, the law for our apostle, the great notion of the world and is truth. Those peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, and elect and enter. With that to say, Shalom.